Hello, everyone, and good morning. My name is Ashley Perez, and I will be talking to you about one of my favorite family traditions that we have. Every year on winter solstice, which is usually December 21st, 22nd, 23rd, somewhere around there, we have this party, and we try to invite as many people as possible, people from church, family, friends, people from school, people within the neighborhood, anyone really who wants to come can drop by. We have people dropping in after work just to say hi. We have people coming early. We have people coming way later. And we just have a good time. People bring food, people bring music. We have a bonfire. People sing, people dance, people toast their s'mores over the fire, share stories, laugh. And it's an overall good time. We usually start off at a circle park in our neighborhood where everyone gathers and we go light lanterns to set things off. And there's usually a couple parties happening, and so people will, go to each house when they see fit and when they want to talk to different people. Or when they just need a break from one house to go to the next, because sometimes there's kids riding scooters, there's kids with sparklers, there's, everything you could possibly dream of. Um, and it's really fun, and it's the longest night of the year, so we keep the party going as long as there's people there. And sometimes there's only one person, so they just end up sleeping over. But the party, in my experience, usually goes to like 5 in the morning. The next day, the cleanup is the hardest part, but it's totally worth it. It's really nice to have that community there with you, and then usually around like when it's like 10 o'clock, like kids' bedtimes, we'll have people write down all the horrible and bad that happened throughout the year, and there's things they want to let go of, things they're angry of, things they're sad about, and then we throw them in the fire, and then we just let it go, to kind of set ourselves up for the next year, new beginnings. Um, yeah, it's pretty fun, and I hope that after this pandemic is over, we will be able to start those up again, and you'll join us.
Hi, my name is Sierra Rose.
And I'm Brenda Nelson.
We're part of the women's group here at UUCP, and we're talking about solstice today and honoring this time of year. As a family, I think we've been celebrating solstice for such a long time, and it's been such a part of our tradition, and Yule is such a part of our tradition. What would you say this time of year really means to you or invokes for you?
I think when I started looking into and understanding the rhythms of the wheel and understanding the rhythms of the earth and really looking at what it all means, the whole celebration made much more sense to me. This time is time to go inward because it's so cold out. So, well, not so much here, but
Cold.
cold. As I'm bundled up.
I know you were cold today.
But also it's a time, the longest night of the year, that time of idea of darkness and going inward. It's going into the womb space. It's visioning and waiting for the dawn, the new birth, the idea of rebirthing the sun, and sun as an S-U-N, not S-O-N.
I agree, and I think it's kind of funny that you bring up the like not being so cold here because when we lived, I think there was a definite shift in what Yule time really meant to me when we moved to Arizona from a much colder climate. Um, and so winter was no longer snow, and it was no longer that kind of like being inside meant being warm. The feeling of it changed, but I think we still get that here in a lot of ways. And I think, especially this year of all years, when being inside has just been such a part of our routine and our day to day life, and to the point where it sometimes has felt just kind of oppressively inside. But I think that's kind of the trick of it is to identify how we can make meaning out of that and how we can take that time inside and time kind of more isolated and quiet, and how can we turn that into something important. And that's a lot of what the symbolism of Yule is that what can I create for myself in this time of darkness? What can I, what goals can I set for myself as the dawn is approaching? And I think that is really, really symbolic of where we're at right now as a culture, as individuals within a culture. I think that's kind of where I'm trying to find myself shifting my mindset is the what can I create out of this as opposed to the focusing solely on the darkness and the scary.
Envisioning that new future for you,
right?
That springtime that's coming.
What does that even mean at this point?
Right.
No, so I think that from a spiritual and just this interpersonal perspective, it's really strong. This time of year it helps us kind of put things in perspective. And
I think it's also recognizing that light is within us, that you are that light. You are, and you bring that light to yourself, to your family, to our community, in all the ways that we can right now, that we need to bring that light of the birthing the sun again.
Right. Especially since in a time where we are more socially isolated, it's still important to find ways that we can bring light to other people. And that it may not look the same way that it's meant in years past or will look in years future, but it's still a way, what can we do to shine more as opposed to, bringing more darkness and more upset to people? How can we make things lighter and more merry, so to speak?
And still have that community.
Exactly. So I know we miss out being with people and sharing these times as a community, but I think we're all still there, and we look a little different, but the light is still there
because it's within us.
And happy Yule to everyone.
Good morning. For me, the winter solstice is a time for reflection and introspection. Reflection on the past year to see what worked and what no longer works with who I am or who I want to be. But more importantly, introspection, looking inside to see what it is that I'm missing this year. What do I need? Now, and then I write it on a card like I did last year at the service. I wrote down friendship. Now, you might think 2020 is not the best year to concentrate on friendship. But by looking at it every day, I posted it on my desk, and looking at it every day, I was able to reconnect with a lot of longtime friends from the Midwest. I was able to deepen relationships with friends that I've met out here because we're meeting in smaller groups or one-on-one. And I was even able to meet some new women who I hope will become better friends as the years go on. I believe very strongly that what you look for is what you will find. Solstice greetings.